Yo, Elliot! Simon Tyler wants to know if there is any form of cardiovascular exercise that not only depreciates from your ability to gain muscle, build muscle mass, but actually adds to your ability to build muscle mass. So, muscle building cardio, he wants to know if there's such thing. The very first thing is the only type of cardio that has the potential to detract from your gains. There are a couple different ways I'm going to approach this. Would be that depletes glycogen, right? Especially if you don't restore it. So a lot of high intensity interval training, if done in an inappropriate fashion, especially if the glycogen is not replaced, can lead to a flatness in your muscle, ultimately weakness and muscle loss to a degree. You know, that's not 100%, but that's typically what you would want to avoid if you're trying to build a lot of muscle mass, is the depletion of glycogen from your tissue. The other thing is that there are many different types of cardio that lead to a form of muscle virus, muscular imbalance, that's due to the repetitive movements, right? So you end up with what are called pattern overloads. So if you swim a lot, right? So for example, say you're a bodybuilder, you bench press a lot, and you do a lot of pull downs, pull ups, and then you go and swim. You're further facilitating the nervous tension in those muscles that are associated with your bodybuilding by doing more of this, right? What does this look like? It's kind of a push and it's a pull. If you're doing a lot of push-ups, a lot of bench presses, and you're doing a lot of pull-downs, and then you go and swim a lot, you're basically asking for fucked up shoulders, right? A better alternative might be like a rower machine, right? Same thing with like squats and deadlifts. You're doing a lot of squats, deadlifts, lunges, and then you go and ride bikes like those the guys on the side of the road here in Florida. It's crazy, like, because they've got a lot of triathletes. They're just like in droves going up and down the streets, and they're all like hunched over and tightening up their hip flexors and crunching over, creating more tension in their rectus abdominis. They're all fucked up. Their bodies are all just being destroyed by the pattern overload of riding that bike for so many repetitions. Those will detract from your gains. But now, this is good. The way I'm going to approach how you will use cardio to add muscle, right? This is all very strange. This is all very different. Take notes or watch this video a couple times, because I'm going to give you a quick lesson on how the nervous system works. Your nervous system is your autonomic nervous system, right? That's a branch of your nervous system that does things without you having to think about it. So the beating of your heart, the dilation of your eyes, sweating. You don't have to tell your body to sweat, right? You don't have to tell your body to produce sperm. You don't have to tell your body to produce testosterone, right? There are a lot of things the majority of the things going on inside you physiologically are happening without you having to do it, right? This is your the autonomic branch of your nervous system. I've also referred to this as the vegetative branch of the nervous system, because it vegetates. It does its thing without you having to actively do it. It's broken down into two halves that are like night and day, right? They're complete opposites, but they serve one another. You can't have all day with no night. You can't have all sympathetic stimulation without parasympathetic stimulation. Those are the two branches of the autonomic nervous system, right? An interesting thing about the nervous system is that it is the first responder that later on you end up having the hormonal system kick in. So for example, like they say the Marines are the first responders. You know, if America is going to war, the first ones in are the Marines, right? And then later on the Navy will come behind them, or whatever the case may be. Your nervous system is like the Marines. Boom, it does its things first, and then the hormonal system follows behind, right? So for example, if a dog barks, right? Like if you're just kind of chilling and a dog barks, your nervous system jumps immediately to like do whatever it is that you have to do to get the hell out the way, run, fight, whatever the case may be. Fight or flight. Right? That's a sympathetic stimulation. Fight or flight. And then later on, the catabolic hormones come associated with what just happened. The hormones come later. So in order to build muscle, right, the actual anabolic processes are a function of the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. right? I used to use a chalkboard to draw all this shit so you guys can have a visual. Hopefully my words are poetic enough that you can grasp what I'm saying. So that autonomic branch of your nervous system that does shit without you having to think about it. That dog is barking, you're running, you didn't have to think about it, right? Also, you know, like I said, that's a sympathetic stimulus. Also has a parasympathetic stimulus that is not catabolic, but anabolic. I hope you're following. So sympathetic stimulus, catabolic, breakdown, fight or flight. Parasympathetic stimulus, anabolic, rest, build up, sleeping, breathing, the production of anabolic hormones. There are exercises that stimulate the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, right? We think about exercise and we only consider like what we're doing when we're beating the shit out of ourselves, right? I'm sprinting, I'm jumping, I'm bench pressing. It's all sympathetic, it's all catabolic. What actually builds muscle, folks, is not working out. It's the stimulation of the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system that produces testosterone, growth hormone, all the anabolic hormones that we take synthetically, our body produces naturally when you stimulate that branch of the autonomic nervous system. How do you stimulate that branch of the nervous system? With low intensity cardio. Take a fucking walk. How brilliant. Taking a walk not only supports you in the increase of your ability to burn fat, right? Keeping it under like 70, they say like, you should be able to talk while you're doing this form of cardio. It should be under like 70% of your max heart rate. These are the terms that they use. I'm basically just saying, go for a nice, not even brisk walk, but a walk where you're kind of breathing rhythmically. And you're also stimulating the rest and digest parasympathetic anabolic branch of your nervous system that's going to contribute to your body's building up after the breakdown of your weight training, excuse me. So low intensity cardio has the potential to be muscle building. You get it? I hope that all makes sense. If everything I'm saying sounds fucking weird, go do some research on your autonomic nervous system and the various branches and how to stimulate them. Go check it out. Peace.
Yo, Elliot.